Hello guys and welcome back again to BPS, and every day at 9 p.m. we bring out one question, one thematic question related to your APSC answer writing, and you can tally your answers with us. Okay, so in case if you think that you need help, particular help in case of answer writing, you can always contact us. Okay, so today's question is: given the demographic dividend and the rapid pace of technological advancements, what strategies should India prioritize to bridge the skill mismatch and enhance job creation across different sectors while also addressing regional disparities in the economic growth and employment opportunities? So it seems to be a very big question, but it is not such a big question, but it is a very technical question. See, the term demographic dividend here is mentioned. That means, what do you mean by the term demographic dividend? It means that large number of people in India are of the proper age who can actually participate in the economic activities of the country and who can be as a potential asset for the country. That means they are of the proper age group who can work in different sectors of the economy and who can act as a potential labor or a very good labor that can contribute to the development of the economy. So it is actually referring to the age group that has the all the skills and that has the education and the skill to be employed as a labor in different sectors of the economy. Okay, so now the question says that India does have the demographic dividend. So the question already realizes that India does have the demographic dividend and the rapid pace of technological change. But at the same time, it is saying that the technology is evolving every day. What strategies should India prioritize to bridge the skill mismatch and enhance job creation? Now see, joblessness is a big problem in India. Unemployment is a big problem in India. Why? Because majority of the people that fall under the purview of the demographic dividend cannot be employed in any sector because they don't possess the necessary skills for jobs. Okay, because companies nowadays prefer people who are well equipped in skills, who knows the latest technologies and who have adopted to the latest technologies in the market. But people who do not have any skill, people who have not worked on any skill but only they have the marks or the certificate, or they have only simply graduated, cannot be employed in any sector. So that is why they wait for the government job. Okay, and that is exactly the reason why the unemployment rate in India is very high. Now here the question is asking that there is a huge gap. The question already addresses that there is a huge gap between the people who can be employed and the people who are actually employed. That means in the demographic dividend, people who are of the proper age to be employed as a labor in different sectors cannot be employed because they don't possess the necessary skills. So the question is asking, what can the government do to minimize the skill gap? And because the way the government is going to take the step is going to define the next generation of jobs in this country. Now, while across different sectors, while also addressing regional disparities. Now, there are regional disparities. For example, people in Assam may have very less knowledge on the skills, but people living in Bangalore or in Mumbai may have a large amount of access, or they may have a large access to the skill development program. So it also defines the regional disparity. Okay, so government has to take care of two things. The government has to take care of the regional disparities in dispersing the skill management programs, and also it has to design certain strategies so that the skill gap between the job seekers and the technology, it reduces. Okay, so this is the basic question. Now in the introduction part, you see India's economic growth has been heavily reliant on sectors like IT and advanced manufacturing, which, while contributing significantly to GDP, generate fewer jobs relative to the economic outcome. Now the introduction part is also addressing the same thing that the question was actually saying. The introduction part says that a large number of contributions to the GDP is being generated by the IT sector and the manufacturing sector. But these sectors employ a lot of technology, but they generate fewer jobs. Okay, they generate fewer jobs compared to the primary sector, and this is the sector that contribute largely to the GDP. Premature deindustrialization and global economic shifts intensify challenges in employment, particularly for the less skilled. Now, what does it mean? For example, if there is a recession going on, then the country is going, the country will not produce enough jobs for its people, because companies will not have enough profits, or they will not have enough funds to recruit large number of people. So when there are global economic shifts like the recession or things like that, then what becomes, it becomes really difficult for the less skilled people to find a job. Only the best skilled people do find a job there. Okay, now skill mismatches, informal sector dominance and automation's disruptive influence further complicate job market dynamics. Now skill mismatch, for example, let's say for example, I am an engineer. Okay, I am an engineer, but I have gone to prepare for a civil service exam. But civil service exam or civil service job is basically a generalist job, but my degree has basically been a specialist job. So there is a huge mismatch of skills. And secondly, you see people who have graduated from the engineering degrees, their degrees have become irrelevant in the technological market, because the type of syllabus that is being taught to them is quite outdated. The technology is quite outdated. So even though they are from the technical background, their skill, there is a huge gap between what the market is demanding and what they are able to provide. Now informal sector dominance, informal sector means, you say, the agarbatti sector or these kind of things which are informal in nature. So you know, there is no any formal organization to operate there, so there is an informal sector dominance. Now people who have graduated as an engineer cannot go and work in any informal sector, because there is a huge labor issues that goes on. They make people work more than 8 hours a day, they do not give proper funds, they do not give proper salary. So this is called as an informal sector dominance. So they take out skilled people, but they are very less educated. Let's say shoemaker. So shoemaker is a skill artist, is a skill worker, but he's very less educated. So he's hardly, let's say, class 8th pass or hardly class 9 pass. So the informal sector, it recruits him, but do not give equal pay. Okay, it does not give the price that the person deserves according to the market inflation. So this is a big problem. Then automation's disruptive influence. Automation means in the manufacturing sector, if you see, large number of people have been laid off. Why? Because now robots have come to manufacture cars, to manufacture all other kind of all other kind of things. Now there are robots who does this. So why will the company keep people and give them salary when the robots can do disruptive 24 into 7 work? And this actually disrupts the job market, because not many job openings are then available to the people. So that becomes a major reason. So these are the things that has been discussed in the introduction part. Now main body is revamping education and training. Now what should we give in the main body? The main body mainly discusses about the middle portion, that what the government should prioritize, the strategies of the government. So if you refer to the question, you'll be able to know. Now this is called as revamping education and training. Now as we all know, reforming the education system to emphasize critical thinking and practical skills relevant to modern industries. Now as I told you that engineering degrees, most of their degrees are actually irrelevant, because the technologies which has been taught to them is quite obsolete, is quite old. So they are not able to adopt, they are not able to learn the new technologies. For example, I'll give you, if you refer to NCERT book, if you see the computer lessons, okay, you go to any NCERT book, class 9 or class 10, you see the computer lessons. Do you know what topics is being taught in the NCERT in the computer? The students are learning about floppy disk. So floppy disk is an outdated technology. Nobody uses a floppy disk at this point of time. Okay, we do not use any hard rarely we use any kind of hard disk nowadays. Why? Because everything is done through the cloud storage. Now they are not studying about cloud storage, they are studying about floppy disk technology, which was very outdated. Now nobody is going to use it. Now this is the kind of education which is going on in our country. The technology or the syllabus is very outdated, it is not relevant to the market. So we need to revamp it, we need to redesign it. Now, enhancing vocational training programs and aligning curriculum with the industry. Now, this is what national education policy will do. If this is at all successful, I hardly doubt if national education policy can be successful in the rural areas or in the less developed areas, but still let's hope for the best. So we need to design curriculum, we need to keep in mind the vocational importance, we need to keep in mind the importance of the skill development. So let's say for example, in any kind of school, if there is any vocational training provided, and that vocational training is in the standard of the industry standard, that means what the industry requires, what are the skill the industry needs. So if these kind of vocational training is being provided to the people, to the students in the graduate level in the education sector, then I think this is the going to be the real game changer. This is what the real demographic dividend means. Okay, next we have is the India Skills Report found that only 47% of Indian graduates were employable in 2019. So you see, only 47%. So out of 100%, only 47% could fit the job market because they had the required skill. So highlighting a significant gap between the academic qualifications and job readiness. Okay, so this is a very basic point you must know. Then scaling up skill development initiatives. Let's say for example, strengthening initiatives like Skill India to provide targeted training in emerging sectors, particularly in technology and advanced manufacturing. So now see, the mechanical engineers, what they are doing, they are studying a very outdated technology of building machines, of building cars and stuffs like that. So what we need to do, we need to upgrade programs like the skill development initiatives, which was launched in the year 2015 itself. Okay, so students need to go and participate in this, but it is not only upon the student to go and participate. There has to be large scale awareness about the skill development program. So the kind of technology that currently we are actually studying is actually very outdated. So that is why we are not able to meet the industry standards and not many jobs has been created. Now, India already launched Skill India mission in 2015, aiming to train millions of youths in the industry relevant skills. Now, supporting MSMEs and mid-size enterprise. Now, promoting growth and scalability among mid-size firms which have the potential to significantly boost employment, providing incentives and support to MSMEs for recovery post demonetization and COVID-19 impact. So, MSME sector, the government tried a lot to support the MSME sector, but the status of MSMEs is not very good. So this is a sector that we need to promote more and more, because it is going to generate a lot of employment. It is going to generate a lot of employment. We need a lot of mid-sized firms, but because of demonetization and because of the COVID-19 challenges, a lot of these MSMEs could not function and most of them died out. So this is not a very good sign for a developing economy like India. We need to support the growth of MSMEs, because it is in the MSME sector that we can generate large number of employment. Okay, now promoting inclusive growth, implementing policies that encourage balanced regional development, reducing rural urban disparities. Now government has to ensure what kind of skill development they are going to do where. Suppose in the village, you cannot go and set up a manufacturing plant, or you cannot go and set up a manufacturing unit in a village to teach the students about how a car is being built. So this is going to be irrelevant for people who are living in villages. So you need to, the government needs to set up kind of programs which are relevant to the village sector. Now most of them are agricultural, so we need to introduce skills like drones, the kind of training that we need to give them for drone use, then the kind of technology they need to operate for their farming. Then you can say the fish farming and all those kind of things. So we need to upgrade these people who are living in the rural areas. Certain primary activities can also be encouraged through a level of skill development program. So this is in the rural sector. In the urban sector, the demands are very different. So nobody is going to have build a fish farm in the urban sector, because we don't have space much for any kind of farming sector. But we do have for processing, let's say for example food processing. Then we have the manufacturing industries, then we have the service sector. So what kind of skills can we teach to the youngsters about the service sector. So this is a big issue that the government needs to discuss. Now regarding the service sector, now many of the people, many of the Western countries, they are outsourcing their work to countries like Bangladesh, to the rest of the Southeast Asian country, but very few jobs are being created in India. Okay, why? Because our youth are not properly trained in terms of the skill. Those who have learned by themselves is very good, but the government needs to upskill them. The government needs to create large initiatives so that a inclusive growth can be promoted. Only the urbans, if we focus the development of skill, if we focus the problem of the skill gap only in the urban sector, then our economy will be lopsided, the development will be lopsided. So we need to create a balance between the rural and the urban, and between the much developed area and very least developed area. So these are certain kind of things that a government should take into account. Now on the conclusion part, what is written: India faces complex challenges in aligning economic growth with job creation, exacerbated by global economic shift, technological disruptions, and educational mismatches. So three problems have been highlighted here. One is the global economic shift, second is the technological disruptions. Now for example, chat gpt, you can give an example of chat gpt here. Like most of the jobs that earlier the assistants used to do, those kind of jobs are being generated, will be used by, will be created by chat gpt. Now earlier we used to have a personal assistant, we used to have a personal assistant to write our emails, okay, frame all the documents that we needed someone to do the desk job. But now since chat gpt is there, it can do anything that a personal assistant can do only. But there is a high chance that chat gpt is going to will bring a technology in the future which can even make calls and talk to the people that we want. It can set appointments for people. So if these kind of things happen because of the technological revolutions, that many people who used to do the desk job will nearly be very unemployed in all the sectors. Okay, they will have to wait for the government job. Now, an educational mismatches. Definitely, I think the main reason for India having such a huge skill gap is because of the educational mismatch. By focusing on targeted skill development, supporting diverse enterprise, and fostering inclusive growth across regions, India can enhance its capacity to create sustainable, high quality jobs that harness the demographic dividend and promote economic stability. Now, a word is mentioned here which is called sustainable. We do not want jobs that are only non permanent, like say 1 month or 2 months. We need to upskill people so that they can keep on upskilling themselves, they can learn new skill. Now if you go to a village area, if you ask them what skill do you know, they don't know any skill. But if you teach them one skill, from there they are going to get a way forward, like how to proceed to the next technological advancement, how to learn new skills in the market, what are the things that are there. So there needs to be awareness about the upskilling programs. Okay, so these are the certain things which was basically highlighted in the answers. Now in this answer there are certain points missing, like for example, I said like chat gpt is a primary example that you could have given here. But rest of the things I feel is quite good. And then you also needed to there the for the government strategy, there were a lot of schemes which could have been involved here. So these are the certain kind of answers where we find things which are not very nicely written. They are nicely written, but certain points are missing. So that is why we try to bring this session, and I hope this has been helpful for you. And if you want to write an answer on this, on the state of joblessness in India and the strategies that the government can provide, you can write your own answer, and you can tally your answers with this. So I am not saying that this is a very perfect answer, but I am just telling you that this is how the answer was written, and there are certain missing points here and there. But the rest, if you could give very primary example and very relevant example, don't give example something which is based in the UK or in the US. Give something which is a very regional base. Okay, what other things that are happening in Assam right now? So that is why I am telling you should read Assam Tribune. Don't go and read the Hindu or just because in the Assam Tribune you will get all the local news, and your local news are the primary example where it is very scoring. If you give a primary or a very local example, the examiner is immediately going to know that you are a very well read person. Because many of us, what we do is we go and read the Hindu or the Telegraph or something like that. You don't need that. Just read the Assam Tribune, collect all the local news and try to incorporate them in your answers as a relevant example and something which is happening in your own state. Right. So I hope this session was very helpful for you. If you have any questions, please do write it down to us in the comment section, and we'll meet again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Till then, take care and all the best.